We are going to learn the salute next week. And you know what? Waving is just fine. Or wave hello, or wave goodbye. Or you can do the Tai Chi salute, which we are going to learn. So welcome everybody. I'm Didi Hilke, your instructor. And this is our very first class of Tai Chi Explorations, which is a true participatory class. So I hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that you're interested in engaging your heart, your mind, your body, all at once in what is Tai Chi and also what is you. So, because the two go together really, really, really well. So we never warm up like this except on the first day. So what I would like you to do, and if you need to like head off somewhere, that's fine. What we're going to do for our warm up to start today is I want you to walk. And I'm going to walk around this space. You can walk around your space, no matter how small or how big, or you can like take off, but do come back. Don't be gone super long. It would be useful if you can hear me. So be in where you can hear me at this point. But I'd like you to walk, and your assignment as you walk, I'm going to start walking. Your assignment as you walk is not to look at me, but to keep your head up and just walk very naturally. Try to walk in what you think of as your best posture, what feels most comfortable. Just start walking. Think if you have maybe a fishbowl on the top of your head, but you know that fishbowl, you've been walking with that fishbowl for years, so it's just something you're vaguely conscious of, but it's going to keep your head upright and stretching up to the ceiling. Maybe I'm gonna like do a little figure eight here and go around the other direction since I'm circling. But you can go anywhere you want, straight forward or back. Now I want you to pay attention a little bit to what you're actually doing. What is normal walking? What is normal walking? Let's think about what's happening with our feet. Just think about that. I'll ask you about it in a bit. What's happening with our feet? How do your feet touch down? How do they leave? Is one foot, there and then not there? What's going on? Just walk naturally, the way you naturally walk. Not everybody walks the same way, believe it or not. Nice, I see everybody moving. All right, now let's think about the coordination between your upper and lower body. Keep going. Anything going on there? Anything you can notice? Slow down if you want, or speed up if you want, but walk naturally. Don't do anything that wouldn't be natural. You can do a stroll, or you could go faster. But what is the natural coordination between your arms and your legs, for example? So take note of that. See what comes up. We could also walk backwards. Be safe. Be very safe. Walk backwards. Walk forwards. Walk backwards. Is anything different going on with your feet when you walk backwards or you walk forwards? Now just experiment. You might experiment with, does it feel different if you think about the very center of your body? I mean the very center, like your belly button. Inside your belly button, how about? Like maybe an inch or two back. What does it feel like? What does it feel like if you let that part lead? What's that about? Just see if that makes any difference in how you walk. Slow down, maybe. What does that feel like? And then pick another experiment, something you make up. And then let's gather. So if your space is quiet, reasonably quiet, where a noise might happen just once in a blue moon or something like that, then feel free to unmute yourself. You can also unmute yourself temporarily, by the way, by pushing on the space bar while you talk and then releasing it when you stop and you go back. So that's another way if you sometimes have a, hi, it's nice to see some folks who are unmuted. Great, wonderful. All right, what was that like? Can somebody give me some things you noticed? Oh, it's the first day, right? Nobody wants to say anything. Come on, it's participatory. Yes, Donna.
Yeah, I can always talk. So the first thing I noticed is my natural walk is not a healthy walk. It's sort of like a plodding. And as soon as I straightened my posture and remembered my healthy walking, my pace is faster. It's not so heavy, you know, a lot of differences.
Interesting. So if any of the rest of you, we do a lot of hand signals in here. Any of the rest of you have something similar that happened? Bruce.
I noticed, and I've always noticed this, that I'm 6 foot tall, 6'1". I tend to look down and stoop my shoulders. That's a lifetime habit, and it's pretty hard to break.
It is hard to break.
And even in the forum, I often do videos when I send to people. I'll look and I go, okay, take 15, so I could stand up.
Yeah. So let's see, maybe we have an assignment for some of us to carry a fishbowl this week, keep our heads up. Let me tell you, I usually give that assignment. I actually give homework, so be ready. And I usually give homework in the very first class, and the very first class homework always includes head up, head up, head up. And by that, I mean like a little chord, like the rest of you can just hang, right? Hang from your shoulders down. But from here up, long neck, and let's see if I can bend my knees enough. And just like a cord helping you, or a fishbowl on top of your head. I have a problem because of just too many years of judo. My head tends to tip. So I have that, the fishbowl really helps me. But the assignment is actually, when you're in your kitchen making your hot beverage or your cold beverage, and any other time you're doing something, but I want you to link it to something now. Link it to the hot beverage or cold beverage. You're just standing there, you're just doing something, right? Or link it to something else. I want you to think of your head up. And then I want you to report back if more head up during the week made you feel better. Because a lot of people find that when they do that one thing, it grounds them and it frees them. So why not, right? If you don't do anything else in Tai Chi, head up, head up. And as Bruce said, a lot of us have this habit because we're worried about tripping or whatever, or we had a habit because we didn't want to quite be as tall as maybe we were, right? We had to duck under things, so it happens. Other things folks noticed.
For me, I noticed that my head is up, but it is too far forward. And I need to push my chin back in so that my eyes are looking straight ahead instead of being head forward all the way.
You and me both. So here, let's do it right now. Okay. All right. Now, don't do anything when we're working on our necks. Don't ever do anything that hurts. That's in general a rule here. We'll go over some more rules in a minute, but nothing that hurts, right? But this is what I want you to do. I want you to be a chicken. So head up, and then out, in, out, in. I call this the chicken head. Now you don't have to do it more than 1/8 of an inch, right? But just get that feeling and then come in and then just relax. And chances are you're in the right place. Okay, tricky, huh? So this is a good thing. So when you watch when you're doing your sort of posture checks in general, or your posture checks in Tai Chi, you want that golden cord holding that head up, and you want that head. So you can do this when you're warming up, you know, and then leave it and attach it. It turns out that the more aligned you get here and down, literally through your head, getting that head tipped right, and all the way down your spine, your breath and your lungs and everything starts to function better. So this is part of the health benefits of Tai Chi. So check that out. All right, anyone else notice anything else while they were walking?
Didi, you had us thinking about our feet, but you didn't mention our hips. And when we walked and you said experiment, I experimented with a bigger sway on my hips and what that felt like versus normal and subtleties in between. And that was kind of interesting.
Interesting. How about the coordination thing I asked you folks about? Either things about going forward and backwards, what were they like, or what our arms did, or anything like that? Erlyn.
Yeah, I was going to mention the backwards. So since you don't do it a lot, right, and you're mindful of it, and so that was really weird because it's like when I was paying attention to it, I kind of like didn't really know which side was supposed to be forward and backward with my legs a little bit, especially when you go really slow, because it's like, oh, wait a minute, like it's not normal. So I was not coordinated going backwards slowly.
Interesting, but you know you do. You know, if
do,
somebody,
yeah.
if you have to go like this.
Yeah.
What do we do when we do that? Do it, everybody. Supposing somebody says, hey, 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 and you go, wait a minute, right? Do it. What part of your foot touches first? Do it again. Wait a minute. What part of your foot when you go straight back? Gail, it looks like you know. Do you want to tell us?
Pose.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't quite get. I think I may have gotten an echo. they've got multiple cameras in the room. Okay, I think it's off. Just so you know, I think it's off. I did hear it. I just didn't. It didn't come on.
Toes.
Toes, right? The balls of your feet, right? How about when you go forward? For most people, when you're just walking casually.
Heels.
Heels, yeah. This is the way most people naturally walk. Not everybody walks that way, right? Because many of us are self-protective. But this week, again, you can notice things like that. And what about our arms? Anybody else have swinging arms when they walk?
Gently.
Did you notice anything about the swinging arms? With me, if I just let my arms hang, they'll start to swing. Relax your arms. Relax your arms and see if they start to swing. The problem is when you slow them down, take note of them, it can get off. But for me, when I step forward with one foot, my other arm on the opposite side comes out. And when I step forward with the other foot. So I'm opposites when I go forward. So in Tai Chi, we might do either. So that's where we are with it. So are people feeling a little warmed up? Well, we won't warm up this way. We're going to go into a lot more of our body shape and a lot more tips on aligning our bodies as we move forward. But one of the hallmarks of this particular course is that we are going to relate a lot of what we're doing to what we do naturally. We're going to remember and imagine things. And I wanted to start that. We even had a special request. Somebody who's done something like this before said, oh, can we do furry friends? Yes, we can. Now, this does require your imaginations. Absolutely requires your imaginations. So here's the rule of the game. And Bruce, you're not supposed to look down. You are not going to close your eyes. And if you need to glance down, it's okay to glance down. It's okay to tip your head. That's okay. But I don't want everybody just watching their feet all the time. So one of the things I say is that I want you to imagine in your space that you can't see your feet. Maybe a cloud is rolled in. So you're going to put a cloud or just not look. Keep your heads up. I want you feeling in your body. And then I would like you, and you're not going to see my feet while we do this. I'm going to see yours, hopefully. We'll see. I want you honestly to do this. And I want you to let into your space, oh, let's pick kittens. If you don't like kittens, pick another furry friend. I mean, lots of kittens. I mean, maybe 30 kittens into your space. Really excited one. Oh, I see some of you are actually looking down at them. Yes, several. Oh, and one cat has just arrived. I think heard their name. So I want you to do that. And now I want you to move. And I don't want you stepping on any kittens. These kittens are going to try to get under you. You may want to put your hands out because I want you to be careful. Don't step. And it's better if you don't just slide your foot on the floor. I want you to have the opportunity to step down and maybe have a kitten underneath. What are you going to do? Maybe pick that foot back up and move it. Right? Nice. Oh my gosh. How is this going? Give it a try. Maybe make a turn. See what happens. How are you going to do that? How are you going to like make a turn and get those? We've got a dog in the space too. I think the friends are drawing more friends, right? What does your body do when you're trying to do this? Oh, really nice and lovely. Oh, what balance I'm seeing from people. How are you doing this? Be aware. How are you doing this? Where do you want your arms? I've got my arms out. Is that where you've got yours? Does that matter? Does that make a difference? You've had this experience. You've been walking and then something's gotten underfoot. But we're not going to stumble here. We stumble, we're going to kick a cat or a kitten. Nice, very nice. You can go in any direction you want. What are you learning about how you're shifting your weight? What does your body do in order to make sure that all those, oh my gosh, if you're stepping down on a cat, a kitten. Don't. Do something so that you don't. Great. Wonderful. So let's stop with the furry friends and come back. Anyone have anything that they noticed?
My
Bruce.
doggy ran into the furniture.
There
She's
you go.
18 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot of us do
Anyway.
our Tai Chi with the animals around. How about other folks?
I found it very calming. Just suddenly my whole body just got calmer as I really wanted to protect those little kittens and walk in that way. It was so calming. Felt good.
Nice, nice. So Judy now has furry friends to as a calming. It's a lovely opportunity.
I think that's funny. I had puppies and they kept licking my toes. So I was kind of shooing them out of the way.
Right, right. Anybody have any awareness of it being hard and what was hard about it, or surprising themselves by how stable they were when they were worried about the kittens, or unstable? Anyone want to share any of that?
I'll-
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Julie.
I felt really unstable at first, and it made me really have to focus. And as I would focus and go a little more slowly, I felt that I had more balance and more, stability as I had more focus than when I started.
Right, right. Tai Chi is a lot about getting that body awareness and that body focus. It helps, and it does help. Valerie, how about you? You had something
I
to say
was
too.
going to say almost the same thing, that I notice that when I think about the furry things on the floor, which were just big fur balls for me, that I shifted my balance, that I was very definitely grounding in one leg before I put my foot down on the next one.
So we're going to do something very good. We're going to go on from what she just said. Oh, and I see thumbs up. This is a good thing, right? You can say, oh yeah, me too. Me too. I agree with that comment. Then I know, because I can see most of you, or all of you, I guess, at this point. What I want you to, oh, John.
Yeah, I just want to say, in addition to the balance, that I noticed my breathing, and that helped, like Judy said, calm me down and made my balance a little more proprioceptive, if that's the right word.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah. Berlin.
Yeah, I just want to bring up that because I'm agreeing with all this, and I think for me, because there was an intent there, it's not usually there when I'm just moving, and the intent is, hey, don't squish something. The intent really helped to focus.
Yeah. This is going to be how I see other thumbs up. This is going to be a hallmark of this course, because surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, when you have decided that something's important, your body responds. So a lot of what we're going to do is come up with things that relate to Tai Chi movements and experiences that you can experience out of an intent that you have had before. Like not tripping over your pet, for example, or a kid, or that might be there. So it's in your body, but we, as folks say, we're not conscious of our bodies all the time. But part of what this is mindfulness. Tai Chi has a lot of mindfulness in it. So that's part of what we're doing. Fabulous. I would like to take the big, hopefully not the big plunge. And this is ice. Okay, icy surface. Icy surface. I want you to have an ice on the floor, but I also want you to be testing the ice, because the ice you're standing on right now is plenty thick, but it's apt to break. So how are you gonna test the ice? Yeah, give it a try. I see a lot of people moving slowly. How do you test the ice? How far away do you put that foot? Is it close? Is it far when you want to test the ice? Is it at the same angle? What seems to work best? What makes you feel like you could really test that ice? What makes you confident that you can shift your weight? Don't forget that head up. That head weighs, oh my goodness, 9–10 pounds. I know that's hard, but we want you feeling it. And I know some folks in this room may well have issues feeling with the bottoms of their feet. That's okay. Just whatever you have, give it a try. Oh, this is looking really, really mindful. Oh, look at those heads too. Very nice. When do you know that you're okay to really shift more of your weight? And can you take that weight back if it starts to crack? Give yourself the experience that you thought it might be okay. You started to shift, but then it was cracking on you. So you shifted back to where you were. What is that like? Increasingly, people have their hands out like, it's great, because that's what I would do, right? You've got your hands out to steady you. It does steady you. It does. Being big and open and connected with your upper body, this is good. So give you a few more moments to do this, and then we'll gather again. What's that moment of no return when you know it's got to be solid? You take that last little bit off. All right, bring it back. Wow, you folks look fabulous. Bring it back to our reality. I promise, nothing else today. But you can have all sorts of floors. Sometimes instead of furry friends, we do sticky planet. Sticky planet. Imagine what that's like. You ever had that case where, like you take a step and then it's like suction cups, right? It's got your feet. And then how do you move? We're not going to do it now. You can do it at home if you want. Report back about it. But what I do want to know is what the ice was like and what you noticed.
It was hard for me to keep my head up because if I was really testing ice, one of the things that I do is look to see if water's coming up around it.
Good
Having
point.
been there.
You've been there. All right, good point. So maybe it's dark out.
Yeah.
Very good point. Very good point. Yeah. I'll tell you what I noticed from people was you've all gotten better at this imagining and better at your movements and better at shifting. I'd really like to know if anyone has a thought about what they did to how did they know that they could shift their weight? How did they make sure they could shift their weight? Anything they did? You're never quite sure, right?
I
Maybe
was
that
imagining, I was
you,
imaginarily listening for a crack.
this will work. This will work. Yep. Yep.
I
So
felt
with
myself shifting back and forth, like test a little, ease up, test a little, ease up.
Got it. So
interplay
the
between-
ability to take that foot back,
Mhm.
right? So I'm gonna have to move back a little bit. So if I'm here and I put a foot out and I'm testing and it starts to crack, then I'm going to take that foot back, right? That's key, that I could take that foot back. So wherever I put it, far out or close in, chances are close in is safer with ice, right? Sort of close in. You can sort of put some in, but at all the time, you're trying to push with one foot, but you're trying to make sure that if it goes, you can come back. For those of you who have done some Tai Chi before, and when we get to it later, we'll do empty step. Empty step is a lot like that. A lot like that. It's the kind of thing you do in a martial art where there's the possibility that you may have to take it back. You can have weight on it, but you have to be able to quickly take it back, even though you had weight on it, and make a short change that change. So it's interesting. Erlyn.
Yeah, so, you know, as you're going through the testing process, you're testing a bit more. I found that my supporting leg, I was bending it and sinking lower the more weight I was testing, because I had to be able to recover if I needed to. So I needed
Oh,
that.
brilliant. Yes. Oh, really lovely. And I see other nods here from people. Yeah. Yeah, like you test here, but then I got to put more weight on it. I've also got to somehow make sure that I've got more here too, so that I can adjust. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. Any other final comments about any of this? All right. Well, I have a few things I want to say real quick about the class, and then we are going to use some of this stuff, and we're going to do one more visualization. We'll start doing Tai Chi. We will never do quite this much imaginative work every time. All right. But I wanted you to get a real feel for it. And I wanted to sort of mine you all for these great ideas. All right. Before we do that, I did want to say, I meant to say this earlier. There are certain rules of the game in this class. And one of them is to check your space every time for safety. I did that visually where I could see most of your spaces. It's really, really important when you're on Zoom, especially when you're doing imaginative work, you check your space to make sure it's safe. There's no rug that's going to trip you up. There's nothing on the floor. There's no cord that's gotten out of place. And the animals are wherever the animals are. So you know where they are. So that's really important. Also, you need to listen to your body. And we've just been living and doing that, right? Listening to your body is really, really important. And the other part of listening to your body is putting on good boundaries when you're doing something new. And I did mean to say this originally, and everybody did protect themselves really, really well. I want to say that a really good rule of the road is 70%. So if you think that you can go this far, just go this far, 70%. If you think that you can go, you know, all out 100%, just go 70%. 70% effort will always be enough to have you move forward in Tai Chi. You never have to take a big risk, and we don't want you taking a big risk. You don't want you taking a big risk. So if you're ever in doubt, pull back those boundaries, and your 70% will get bigger and bigger and bigger. When I started Tai Chi, I thought, I knew there were kicks in Tai Chi, and I was like, I'll never be able to do a kick. I'll never be able to do that. That's not going to work. Oh my gosh, we're coming to second section in the long form. I'll never be able to do a kick. And now, like today, here's one of those kicks. You know, it's like little by little, Tai Chi will train your body and your mind. And it will be changed. Your body will be changed. Your mind will be changed, all in healthy ways. So, so 70% is enough. I'm looking to say, and here's another thing, especially in my classes, absolutely imperative. I have it written right here. Eyes open, mind open, heart open. Eyes open, mind open, heart open. Open to the people here in the community, open to the experience. That's what we begin Tai Chi with here, and that's where we always find Tai Chi. And, you know, Judy said she was, she found it very calming. This is a lot of what Tai Chi can bring us, and Tai Chi community can bring us as well. This focus is so intense and yet calming that we, it's addictive, which is a great thing. Also, it's training our body to be safe in all sorts of experiences. And I could tell you stories about that, but I won't right now. All right, additional requests. I'm going to just look at my list here. Please let me know how class is going for you. You can do that in an email, but you can also say, hey, I can't hear you. Something just blitzed out. Like and other people say, yeah, we can't hear you. Or the music's not playing that you thought you were playing, right? Interruptions are okay, right? If it's not the right time, I'll just say, I'll get to that, you know, it'll be fine. So don't worry about that. We are recording. I wanted to say that while we were recording. So it's on the recording here. We are recording. You are not being shown. You will never be shown. I know all sorts of tricks just in case I made a mistake so that you wouldn't be shown. You'll never be shown. If you ask a question, your last name will never be said if I respond to you by name, but your voice will be heard on the recording. So I just did want to let everybody know, truth in advertising. All right. One more thing here I would like to do today. And I know at least one of you has done this before. So put an arm out. Give me an arm. Everybody give me an arm. All right, yeah, great. Give me an arm. Now put yourself in a butterfly position, in a butterfly pavilion. Has anybody been there before? Where there's butterflies, or you're just in a garden and there's butterflies. Yeah, other hands coming up like this. That's great. Okay, so put out a hand. Would you, somewhere on your arm, put a butterfly there? Look at it. Appreciate it. Oh, I can see it moving on some of your arms. I mean it. Don't look at me. Where's that butterfly? Oh my gosh, look at these arms changing. Oh my goodness. All right, now let your butterfly go to your shoulder or something, whatever you want. You don't have to keep the butterfly there, just maybe off into the room. I wanna show you what I saw. Okay, because you folks were doing it. That's exactly what. So this is what I saw. I saw arms like this, the way you always hold your arm. And then as you really got into the butterfly, this happened. I don't know if you can see that. Like you went from kind of this to, I don't know, looking bigger, more connected, and you were looking at it. I could tell where the butterfly was. You know, it was kind of, I don't know if I can do it so you can see it, but I could tell. And sometimes you'd go like this, and I could see the butterfly effectively walking on your arm. But your whole body's stilled. Your whole body's stilled. Your whole body came together. Just putting a butterfly on your arm. And you were rounder. You weren't like this. You were rounder. So my tip for you is butterfly arms. In Tai Chi, we have butterfly arms. So let's just do a little bit of butterfly on your arm. And let's just do some exercises. You know, a lot of you are on the West Coast, and we have trees. Do we have trees on the West Coast? So we have some trees like this. I'm on the East Coast. These are our trees, our big old trees, right?
These are our big trees.
Okay, but what about the trees on the West Coast? Some of them. I've even seen trees like that in Bellevue. There are some hidden places where they didn't ever get cut. Let it grow. Feel it growing. Hug that tree, but it's a gentle hug. It's more like it's just there and you're in complete contact with the tree. Lovely. Oh, lovely. Yeah. If you want to go up and down, like I'm going down now, and then I'm going to go up. You can do that. You could even breathe with it if you want. Now turn those arms into wings and beat in, strong beat. And open and let the air go through your feathers. And beat in. Feels different, doesn't it? And open and let the air through your feathers and beat in. And turn your hands down and push down. Nice. Oh, you look wonderful. Those are some of the exercises from Master Yang Jun's wellness exercise. So I promised that I would take you through a little bit of opening and prepare. We've done some of prepare. We'll do more of it next week. But I want to take you through opening. It's very close to an exercise we're going to do first. So if you stand with your feet, shoulders, hips, feet, right? You might even jiggle to really feel those feet. We'll talk about standing on our feet next time more. I want you to feel very tall. I want you to feel that golden cord. How about what we did with our chins earlier? Remember that? And our head wasn't just putting our chin down. We pulled it in and out and in, and then we let it relax, whatever was relaxed. Nice. Let's feel our feet, but let's feel very, very, very tall. Nice. And our shoulders are sort of just like they're on a coat hanger, relaxed. In fact, we're very long throughout our spine and up our head, but we are very, very suspended for the rest of our body, just almost like we've been plopped there, but we're long. And we're going to rotate our arms. They're going to rise up. They're actually going to float up. Float, 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 float. Nice. And then we're going to push down like it's not like a ball so much because you're going to keep your arms here, but you're going to push into water. So some sort of inflatable, push it into water, push it, feel the water, feel the water, feel the water. Where's that point where you can't push anymore? There's a point where if you go further, you somehow can't push. That's where you're going to stop. That is opening. I'm going to turn, but you folks can stay where you were. And we're going to do that again about getting into this sort of beginning of prepare mode. Remember, heads up. Heads in their right position. Shoulders relaxed. Arms hanging. Nancy Lucero, one of our directors at the school, says little tiny magnets on the ends of your fingers pulling down. And you know what? You're about, oh, those knees, I bet those knees locked. Unlock them. In fact, think about sitting on a bar stool. Can you just like reach for that bar stool, but don't sit? Like actually any second you're about to sit on that bar stool. That's where you want to be. And rotate your arms. Let them float up. Keep those shoulders down and push down. First down is your upper arms, then your forearms, always pushing till you can't push anymore. One more time. Opening, floating up, pushing down until you wouldn't be able to hold that floaty in the water. You'd lose control. That's opening. That's the first part of every young family form. So I want to show you something else about those shoulders. When we're doing it, I want you to imagine there's a tendency of doing this. See how I'm sort of lifting up my shoulder, lifting up my shoulder, lifting up my shoulder. I don't want you lifting up your shoulder. I want you to imagine that you had a lever like this is, and someone's pushing on the back part of that lever. You get the idea? You're pushing down. So the lever is here on my shoulder. Somebody's pushing down in the back to bring this up. Let's try it again. From here. Get yourself all prepared and rotate your arms. And they're floating up, but actually you're being helped because someone's pushing from behind. Oh, so helpful. And down. Now, one last time, we're going to rotate our arms. Someone's pushing from behind, so they don't even have to float up. You're pushing down, and as you push down, you feel taller, 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 taller. All right. I want to get back to the butterfly now and introduce something that we will be working on later, guaranteed. Not sure how many times we'll come back to it, but I want to give you a feeling. So give me an arm, a butterfly arm. Put that butterfly on your arm. That butterfly on your arm. So here's where mine is. It's not like this. It's not way out here. How about just like this? Just like this. Nice, beautiful butter. Elbows in general down. But mostly butterfly. Okay? I would like that butterfly to walk up to this finger, to this finger, as you go like this. And now I want you to turn and give the butterfly a different view. Okay? Now we are going to come, and as we come down the other side, let the butterfly walk over here. Bring your other arm over and pick up the butterfly on your finger. Nice. And then drop your first arm and bring the butterfly up. And give it another view. And now it's walking down. Pick it up. Pick it up with your other arm. Drop the first arm that just came down. Let it come up. Oh, it needs another view. Turn, 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 turn. And pick it up over here. Nice. Bring that butterfly up. Lovely. Oh my gosh. Turn, 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 and down. Butterfly walks up. Pick it up on that finger. Not a butterfly in the arm, so it kind of drops. Comes up. And this time, I want you to start turning right here when it's in this position. Nice. So we just turn. How do we turn? Here. Here. It's like a queen's wave, because you don't want the queen's wrist to get sore, right? So, and in fact, you can turn too, because you're watching that butterfly. I know it's hard because I'm on your screen. Kick the butterfly up here. Just let your elbows fall. Nice. Lovely. And get to here. See how they're kind of like one up, one down? Yeah. And then turn. And if you want to just circle those arms, or if you just want to play with those arms, you can play with those arms. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You could say, oh, I'm going to bring this beautiful arm up and grab the butterfly here and just look at it. Follow it with my body and my eyes. And then pick it up here. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it right now. Make it up for yourself. Experience it. Lovely. I love how some of you have your butterflies going overhead. Some of you have your butterfly, but all of you have these very mindful bodies and arms. It's great. And this is what Tai Chi is like. All right, do we have any thoughts about that exercise or anything we have done today that you haven't expressed yet?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Can we steal your ideas for our classes?
absolutely.
Okay.
I
Does anything-
certainly have stolen ideas.
If there's anything you don't want us to use, just shout it out.
No, there is nothing proprietary here. If you think it works, and let me know. Let me know. I mean, you don't have to let me know all the time you use it, but yeah, that's fine. And I know there are some teachers here. Yeah, so that's fine. And I know there's some people who've never done Tai Chi before here, and you folks have worked right. And you folks have worked really, really hard today. So we will be doing. We will wave today. Goodbye. I'll be around for a little bit if anyone wants to chat. Next week, we are going to invent the bow step, which is something we will do. We will discover that it's quite natural, and we will explore that and also learn how to do that. So that's one of the fundamentals that we'll be addressing in this course. And we'll also really get to prepare, really starting to work on our body shape as well. And believe it or not, butterflies give us mindfulness, and butterflies also help us be in our body. So any of this stuff does, and it's really good for us. Yes, Bruce.
Are we scheduled for 1 hour, 10:30 Pacific then?
We're scheduled Pacific time 9:30 to 10:30. Yes.
Okay, so 1 hour. Okay.
One hour. Yes. Anything else?
Thank you. It's
All right.
wonderful.
I was getting ready. I was getting ready to do this.